What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. As today we'll be talking about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. I'm going to give you my verdict on both of these particular consoles from my opinion. I'm also going to tell you which one I'm looking to get in the future and why it will be a little while before I actually pick one of these particular consoles up. We're also going to be playing Rouge Company in the backdrop, as I have been enjoying playing this game off camera. I also played it last week as well on camera and had a lot of fun in doing so. So yeah, before we get into today's video, if you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button, it'd be very much appreciated. Also remember to smash the like, and don't forget to leave your comments after the video. Let me know exactly what you think of both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, which one you're planning on picking up, and if there's any other games that you want to see me play on the channel, please leave them below and I will do my best to pick or play those games too. So yeah, let's get into today's video. As the map's loading up, we're playing the favelas, which we played last week as well, ironically, so it's going to be interesting. If we look back and, you know, which consoles worked better, were considered better in previous generations between Xbox and PlayStation, you had PlayStation 2 was better than the original Xbox. The Xbox 360, after the debacle of the Ring of Fire, was considered a better console than the PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4 came out to be a better console than the Xbox One. Even though I think the Xbox One was still considered more powerful, just the way that the whole marketing and certain features were originally introduced on the Xbox One were giving it a little bit of an issue per se. So now we've got the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. The first thing you've got to talk about is how they look. Now, me personally, I really do have to admit that I really like the PlayStation 5 design. As much as it looks like, you know, the big massive wireless router that you've ever seen in your life sort of thing, I do like the particular style that they went for with this particular console. I appreciate it. I like stuff that's a little bit quirky, which that one is. So I'm just gonna what should I go with? Do I increase the magazine? No, I'm going to take the ability to reload faster while running. I do like the PlayStation 5 design, has to be said. I do like the quirkiness of it. Thoroughly see it as a good thing. In terms of the Xbox Series X though, I do think that a lot of people will probably like the fact that it will just fit in better with what people kind of want to see within their kind of like current entertainment setups. It just has a better all-round feel, and oh sorry, I just had to kind of finish that guy off as much as I could quickly. Go around. Pretty sure there's a guy around here still. Oh my word, there was two of them there. That was a bit of a shock, wasn't expecting that. Jeez, well, never mind. Sorry, I just got kind of a bit sidetracked there. Yeah, I feel like the Xbox Series X would definitely fit in better in terms of people's lounges and kind of like where they may want the console, if they want to store it away in a shelf, you know, or some sort of like shelving unit or cupboard unit. It'll definitely fit in, whereas the PlayStation 5 you're going to have to leave out because it's just that big. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. In terms of hardware now, and I think hardware these days is definitely a bigger issue. Especially as you get older, you start to respect hardware more and more. It just becomes the thing that you think about, and it seems like the hardware of the Xbox Series X is definitely better than that is currently in the PlayStation 5. And the main reason for that is it already has an external storage that can be used in addition to the 800 gigabytes that it already has, in which you can save your games, which is a darn sight better than the PlayStation 5, which only has about 600 gigabytes and only seems to have around about 600 gigabytes of data, and also doesn't have any sort of external storage solutions at present time, which is a little bit disappointing, but definitely gives Xbox an advantage in that sense. When it comes to overall graphics though, I think both consoles look very nice, very sharp and clean with their pictures. However, it has to be said that we don't really know exactly how graphically imposing that these particular consoles are going to be yet, because oh, we almost got him out. Because We have to. Sorry, I just. That is just going on. And then we don't really know exactly what the graphical performance is of these particular consoles yet, because we don't yet currently know
all enemies have been
exactly
eliminated.
what kind of power these will generate. We only really will know that the more we go into the cycle of the actual console itself and see exactly what we're going to get with them, which is fair enough because we're only in the early stages of these particular consoles actually being out. But based on what we can see from both these games, the graphics look superb, especially on the right kind of TV and everything. They just look fantastic, it has to be said. Now the next thing that you go and have a look at is the controllers, and me personally, by what has been built with the PlayStation's DualSense controller, sounds absolutely ridiculous and fantastic. Sounds absolutely fantastic, and the main reason it sounds so good to me is that the haptic feedback that you get from playing the games just seems ridiculously good. It sounds absolutely incredible and amazing at the same time, that it seems like they can generate such kind of feedback while playing games. It's definitely something to be excited about, and unfortunately the Xbox doesn't really have that. But in terms of innovation, I think now the Xbox has kind of had its influence on the PlayStation. And the main reason, I was really bad with the shooting then, I got hit in the back as well, so there's no wonder I died there. The main reason I think the Xbox has now had an influence on the PlayStation in terms of controllers is now the PlayStation 5 has a much bigger controller in line with what Xbox controllers were. I think PlayStation controllers all the way up until PlayStation 4 were a little bit small, and with the PlayStation 5 they definitely got to grip with a much bigger controller, which I think is very good for people with bigger hands. And let's be honest about it, not everyone's going to have small little hands like they originally thought with the original PlayStation and PlayStation 2 type of controllers. So that's definitely a good little addition to see.
Move here.
Now in terms of the current set of games that are currently out on the system, it definitely seems like PlayStation has the edge with them in a big way, which is very nice to see. In some ways, very good, because what it means is... Oh, hello, I was getting shot. Oh yeah, I just seen him. Oh, I got kind of bogeyed then. Let's go in here. Oh, no, that's not going. Oh, that guy completely missed me. He didn't even see me. I might be alright, you know. I might be able to get this guy. If I do it right. Oh, he's too fast. The guy's too fast.
We found the bomb. All targets eliminated.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I really wanted to concentrate there and get those kills. Yeah, so in terms of the lineup, PlayStation seem to have deals already in place with some of the great games they already have. You know, with Spider-Man Miles Morales being a fantastic game, they already had the remastered version of the Spider-Man game they did on PlayStation 4, as well as some other stuff. Whereas Xbox is kind of like releases, while they have some of the big AAA games that, you know, like Call of Duty and that, some of their independent stuff has just not come through yet. They still need to do a bit more work on it before they come out. You know, like Halo was a big one they were going to try and bring out during a release, and it just didn't happen that way, unfortunately. So that's kind of a bit sad, but in all fairness, what they've managed to do with a lot of this stuff is very, very good nonetheless. But definitely PlayStation 5 is the one that's going to pick up the win for me in that sense, unfortunately. Not that that's a bad thing, you know, it could be considered a good thing, but, you know, it's one of those things at the end of the day.
Enemies planted the bomb.
And there's always one that is a little bit... Oh, come on. Down. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so PlayStation 5 definitely has the advantage in that. Ah, I thought I killed that guy. How did he get back up? That's so annoying. Anyway, yes, I think PlayStation definitely has the advantage in terms of the releases that have come out straight away. But I think Xbox will definitely bring it into their own as they go along and see exactly what they can bring about on the table in terms of their own kind of exclusive bits and pieces, which, you know, it'll be good to see, that's for sure. Have we won it? I think we just did it. Jeez, that was a close one, you know. That was very close, but that's a good win nonetheless.
That was quick.
That was really good, though. That was a good win in the end. A good win. A bit unfortunate the way I died. I thought I'd knock down that guy, but obviously managed to revive himself, which is a bit of a shame. So,
this I like.
I've got 4k left. We'll have a grenade as well. So yeah, overall, I kind of... My personal verdict is I am kind of leaning towards the PlayStation 5, and the reason why I feel like I'm leaning towards a PlayStation 5 is just because for me, I've kind of always grown up on the PlayStation and have thoroughly enjoyed my uses with it. Right, I'm going to have to go a little bit weirder on this one because I already know that I was just showing myself. So, just going to be a little bit more kind of work my way back around.
Enemies have armed the bomb.
So I've got a funny
Disarm
feeling
it.
that they're going to be... Yeah. Like this guy. Ah, that was a bit of a shame. This guy's caught me more and more times, you know. Yeah, so I think in my book, I think the PlayStation 5 is definitely going to be like the better console. I just think while there are little things it probably could do better over time, I feel like it will improve the software and definitely introduce storage solutions that may be better than Microsoft's Xbox in the end, but we'll wait to see. I definitely prefer the design of the PlayStation 5, it has to be said, and I do actually, as much as I think the Xbox is definitely a better kind of machine overall, I certainly feel that the PlayStation 5 is definitely the one for me, essentially. Now, when it comes to actually picking, me actually going and getting this particular console at some point in time, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. Me personally, obviously, like, you know, like everyone else, you need to have the money, the spare cash to go out and buy this particular machine, and at the moment, I'm not really in that position right now, you know. Something for the future, I would definitely consider picking it up. But I think also the other thing that I've begun to realize now as I get older is that PC gaming, in a sense, seems to be what I feel like leaning towards. I think PlayStation 5 and Xbox in general overall have much better multiplayer scenes in terms of being able to play with your friends and stuff. Less cheaters, less this, less that. I mean, obviously now we're getting into the age of crossplay, which allows you to play on all different platforms. But I've always felt that kind of like, you know, when we're talking about more hardware, better hardware, more games that you're going to play, best places to save it and stuff like that, PC seems to be having that sort of edge, you know, compared to these consoles. And as much as a console, it's always been a great thing, it's always about gaming and all this sort of stuff. I get the sense that, you know, PC might be the way to go these days, you know. I just feel like it is becoming more and more significant, and definitely something that should be a bit more looked into. Wow, I barely hit them once, man. That was a shocking play by me. But yeah, I just feel like PC gaming is probably the way to go with it. Now, I'll for sure definitely will pick up PlayStation 5 at some point in the future. Probably when more games are out, we get a bit more understanding of the quality of the games that can come out. You know, because at the moment we're kind of still in this space where we don't know the graphical prowess of both the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, and I think as soon as you understand what that is like, will be more in. I think a lot of people who are kind of sitting on the fence or just saving up to buy a new console will probably be like, okay, this is probably the console for me. This is what's gonna I feel more better with. And you know, it's just those sort of things that what I am actually kind of figuring out myself in terms of that particular type of thing. But at the same time, I'm kind of playing with the whole idea of potentially doing PC gaming instead of PlayStation or Xbox, just because of what you can put into a PC. And there's always ways of you being able to upgrade the PC along with the games that go along with the PC and all that sort of stuff. So it's a tough one. I think if I'm still, based on what I currently think, I would probably say that the PlayStation is the one that I would go for. But I am seriously playing with the idea of getting into PC gaming, just because I just think PCs are now better. And like I said, as you get older, hardware becomes more of a thing. You start to think about it more often and seeing like exactly what you can kind of get with these sort of things. So for me, it's definitely something. What? We dominated in that one. Yeah, that wasn't very good for me. I'm normally pretty good. Look, I've done pretty well so far. 10 eliminations, 10 downs, top of the leaderboard. It's just that Hello guy is just like, whoo, beast at the moment with his little kind of submachine gun. Yes, honestly, I think either one of the consoles are fantastic. Me personally, I'll probably choose the PlayStation. I may pick up a PlayStation later on, but it's just not something I'm thinking 100% for. I'm kind of looking more at PC gaming as a future thing. Like when you're a kid, right, the thing that you used to do all the time, right, and we've all done this, is we always get what our friends get. Always want to see what they wanted, you know, and if they got something, yeah, that would be the thing that you'd go and get, because you know you want to play with your friends online and all that sort of stuff. Nowadays, when you get older, you and your friends grow up, you have less time for gaming and stuff like that. You start to think more practically in terms of what you actually need stuff for. And it's like, am I going to seriously need a games console? And the likelihood is, you know, it's probably not the number one thing in your list. The number one thing in your list these days is probably going to be a laptop or a computer, you know? And if you go with the computer, then you can get into gaming on the computer. And, you know, now multiplayer is a thing on PC. The only thing I don't like about multiplayer games on PC is that people love cheating, which is a bit unfortunate, has to be said. But it's just one of those things. And yeah, it's just the thing I really like to look. It just really intrigues me that PC is definitely like the way to go. You know, it just feels like it's the way. So yeah, I'll be interested to see if that actually works out. It'll be interesting to see if that's actually the way to go.
Not yet. The bomb has been dropped.
Wow. Mugged it up. Messed it up.
Well done.
Oh, but we still won. Well done, guys. That was a close one. Yeah, so I generally feel like PC gaming may be the way forward. If you've got the spare cash, definitely pick up one of the ones that you want. For me, it would be a PlayStation 5. But yeah, I feel like PC gaming may be trumping these particular consoles these days. The advances that PC gaming has made over the last few years in terms of graphics cards and everything else is just ridiculous. There was a time where, you know, game consoles was the one. Game consoles were always the one. PlayStation 2 era, PlayStation 3 era were the big juggernauts, you know, in terms of actual gaming. But now PCs seems to be a whole different beast, and definitely seems like the one that you have to consider now when it comes to gaming in general. So yeah, we have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see indeed. Oh my word, am I the last one alive? Feels like it. Oh, hello. So yeah, in my opinion, I'd probably go PlayStation 5, but at the same time, I'm definitely considered PC gaming. That's where I'm at with the situation. It'd be good to hear from you guys, see what you guys think in terms of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I think in some ways Xbox Series X is going to be the better console at this precise moment in time, but I think the PlayStation 5 definitely has some stuff to rival it and could definitely improve as time goes on. But I'm putting in a curveball. I think PC gaming may well be the way forward at this point in time. But yeah, that's my personal opinion on the issue. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, because obviously I've built this as PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and then I was also going to give you, you know, why it may be something in the future for me to consider, and you know, that's the reason why I said it'll be a future thing, because it's kind of expensive now, you know. Gaming in general is a lot more expensive, and with consoles, you know, your games, it feels like once they go into the next generation, the games that you like playing kind of just get lost in it, you know. So I really do feel like, you know, having a PC where, you know, everything's all either like logged on Steam or this thing or that thing, you know, it certainly seems to be definitely the way forward, in my opinion. So yeah. Oh, that was so bad. I thought, oh, it was smart, but they're all around here. Oh, and the bomb's with me as well.
The bomb has been dropped.
Oh, dead. Oh well, I hope my team can carry me to the win. But yeah, it'll be great to hear from you guys in terms of what you think about the PlayStation 5, what you think about the Xbox Series X, also about, you know, my particular opinion of maybe PC gaming is the way forward. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to hear from you guys. We're going to finish out this match. I'm going to try and get the win so we can finish it on a high. But yeah, in terms of where I am with things, like I said again, PlayStation 5 is PlayStation 5, yeah, it's definitely the one for me. Xbox Series X is probably the better console out of the two. That's how it comes across. And yeah, me for the future may pick up PlayStation 5, but I may just get into PC gaming, get my words right. But right now, let's finish off this game, because we should have won this by now, and we've made a bit of a hassle of it, let's be honest about it. I haven't been that particularly good on the old thing. Let's see what this Dallas guy gets into. I'm going to sit here for a sec, have a little think. I can hear stuff, but I can't see anything. It feels like there's someone there, but I'm not entirely sure. Right, it seems like we're all gone back.
Bomb dropped.
Everyone's all up here. So we have got some trouble. Ah, taken from behind. Did not know that guy was there. That's so bad. So bad. That's not very good for me, is it really? That's not very good at all. Well. The other thing about, you know, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is, obviously in the last iteration we had Pro models, you know. You had the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Are we going to have the same sort of thing with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? Because it just feels like you have to get the new... Wow, this is going to a tiebreaker. This is going to be very, very tight affair. We're going to have to pick up that. Take a melee weapon as well. So let's see how we do. It just feels like now more and more we're getting into like the realm of paying for a new console like every 2-4 years, which, you know, in some ways I can kind of respect, and in other ways it kind of feels like a bit of an issue in my book. Like, you know, you'll be shelling out like 500-600 pounds a pop every time a new console comes out, and that's just not really what I would suggest is a great idea. Personally thinking, I just don't think that's great. I think it's pretty bad in all fairness. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Jeez. Think about this. Oh my god, he did not shoot off then. I was holding the trigger down and it did nothing. He just stood there with it. Oh well, never mind. Looks like we might end with a loss here, which is a bit unfortunate. Did relatively well, but obviously the guy on the other team even, hello, got 23 eliminations, my 13. So
Crushed
there's
us.
a guy there
Run
who's
it
got
again.
14 as well. Never mind. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the content spoken about it, and you know, I found my views interesting. It'll be great to hear from you. Please remember to leave your comments below. Let me know exactly what you think of the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and also what you thought about me putting in that little curveball again about PC gaming as well. Well, until next time guys, please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and I will check you guys out. Laters.